Now coming to our next series of hits, we take a look at Sai Sudarshan. Sai Sudarshan continued from where he left off in IPL 2023 and had a pretty good year this season as well, where he picked up his first century in the IPL against the Chennai Super Kings at the Gujarat Titans home stadium of Ahmedabad. In that match, alongside Shubman Gill, Sai Sudarshan put up the joint highest partnership for an opening wicket in IPL history. Sai Sudarshan has been especially consistent as a player of spin in this year's IPL, where he averages over 200 against spin bowlers this season. And to add more praise as to why he's such a consistent batsman, he's gone over 30 runs 10 times this season, which is currently the highest for any batsman. Now moving on to our next player in this video, well, it's a player who's in hot contention for the MVP of the season, Sunil Narine. Sunil Narine has been having a great season with both bat and ball in this year's IPL. Sunil Narine is the only player to have hit more than 300 runs and pick up 10 plus wickets this season. He also hit his maiden IPL century in this year's tournament and has 350s to back his name. Narine is especially dangerous while bowling second, where he's picked up the second most wickets at 12, and he also has the second best economy while bowling second in this year's IPL. Now let's move on to our next player, another replacement substitute, Phil Salt, who came in for his fellow countryman, Jason Roy. Phil Salt has been having a great second year in the IPL. Phil Salt has scored over 400 runs this season. He's doing it at an average of almost 40 and a strike rate greater than 180. He's hit 7 scores of 30 or more runs this season and also has 450s to his name. Phil Salt has an average of 93 when it comes to the chase, and he's one of only 7 batsmen who have a strike rate above 175 when it comes to both the chase as well as setting a target. And alongside Sunil Narine, he's put up 5 partnerships of 50 or more runs and 1 century plus run stand. Moving on to the next player, and it's one that we definitely can't miss out on when we are talking about the hits of IPL 2024. And that man is the 32-year-old youngster, Shashank Singh. Shashank Singh has honestly been a revelation this year. He's Punjab's highest run scorer this season at 354 runs in 14 innings. His runs tally is the 3rd most by an uncapped Indian batsman this season. He's also one amongst just 3 players who averages more than 50 against both pace and spin. Shashank is especially dangerous when it comes to the chase, where he averages 63 and is scoring runs at a rate of almost 180. Both his half centuries this season have also come while he's batting second. And the phase in which Shashank is the most dangerous has got to be the death. In over 16 to 20, he's hitting runs at a rate of above 220, which is amongst the highest for batsmen who have hit more than 100 runs in the death overs this year. Now moving on to our next player, the Assamese prodigy, Riyan Parag. After having many setbacks with the Rajasthan Royals over the last few years, the Royals continuously had faith in Riyan Parag, and finally this year, he delivered for them in his breakthrough season. He is one amongst just 7 batsmen this year who has hit over 500 runs and is currently at the top of the leaderboard for the most number of runs scored by an uncapped Indian batsman in this year's IPL. Riyan Parag has an average of almost 100 when he's batting first, which is the highest for a batsman who has scored over 200 runs this season while batting first. He also averages well above 180 when it comes against the spinners. And the cherry on top was Riyan Parag's highest score in the IPL, which came this season against the Delhi Capitals, in which he hit a brilliant 84 not out. Now moving on to the opposite end of the list, the players who haven't performed as well as we expected them to. And starting off in this video, it's Andrik Nokia. Andrik Nokia came up with some pretty big expectations into this tournament. Although he was ruled out of the World Cup and the series against India due to an injury, many fans from the Delhi Capitals expected him to step up in the IPL. But this season, he just wasn't having it. Now taking a look at the bowlers who have conceded the most number of runs in their last over, well, Andrik Nokia is head and shoulders above the opposition. He's conceded over 70 runs, and all the other bowlers have bowled more overs than him. Nokia also has the highest economy in the death overs, where he's going at an economy of almost 18, which is the most for a player who's bowled over 5 overs in the death. For a bowler who's known to traumatize batsmen with his searing pace, let's not forget he was taken to the cleaners by Romario Shepherd, who hit 32 runs in just 6 deliveries when they went up against the Mumbai Indians. That's just gone on to show how bad Nokia has been this season. Moving on to our next player in the list, it's an IPL veteran, Ridhiman Saha. Ridhiman Saha has been having a season to forget this year. He scored just over 130 runs and he's doing it at a really bad average as well. And speaking about averages, he has the lowest average for any batsman who has played over 20 deliveries in the power play overs. Now moving on to our third player in this list, a player who we honestly didn't think would have such a dramatic fall-off in IPL 2024, it's Ajinkya Rahane. Before the 2023 auction, everybody had written him off, but the Chennai Super Kings picked him up for base price and Ajinkya Rahane repaid the faith. He scored over 300 runs in IPL 2023 and did it at a strike rate that was so unbecoming of him, where he was hitting the ball at almost 190. But despite being given so many chances by the Chennai Super Kings, he did not manage to cross the 250 run mark in this year's tournament. And just look at the fall off in his strike rate. In this year's tournament, he's striking at a rate of 124, which is an issue which he was heavily criticized for in the past. Now moving on to our next player on the list, well, it's a little bit unfortunate here as well. Coming into the IPL off the back of losing his central contract with the BCCI, which has definitely had a toll on him in his performances in the IPL, Ishan Kishan. Ishan Kishan has been hit or miss this season. He's picked up just 2 scores of 30 plus in his last 7 innings. Kishan has especially struggled while batting first, where he averages below 20 this season. And taking a look at how good he is in the power play as compared to the rest of his innings, he's striking at a good rate of above 160 in the first 6 overs, but his strike rate drops down massively when it comes to the middle stages. And now it's the climax, the player that you've all been waiting for, Hardik Pandya. Hardik Pandya has been dismissed 7 times while facing his first 10 deliveries, which is the joint highest for any batsman this season. For a batsman who's known to especially target pace bowlers, Hardik Pandya has been struggling against them this season, where he's hitting runs at an average of just 11 and a strike rate of just 129 against pace bowlers this year. Hardik Pandya is also averaging below 20 in both the innings. And well, if you take a look at his bowling, he has conceded runs at a rate of above 10 in all 3 phases of play. Facing so many issues throughout the tournament, the hostile Mumbai crowd's constant boos definitely didn't help Hardik Pandya's case. Thank you so much for watching. Do stay tuned in because we have another video, part 3, coming out about the hits and flops of the league stage of IPL 2024. Please like, share and subscribe and keep coming back to K-Sport for more cricketing content.